Baroness Massey of Darwen. I entered the house in 1999. I never knew my grandfather because he died at the age of 52 before I was born. He died in 1933 from, I think, leg wounds sustained during the war. It was phlebitis, and he died, I suspect, because of those wounds. But he was a presence in the house because my father was very proud of what he'd done. He was my father's father. And I know that he had a lot of photographs of his father, both getting his medal, which was the military medal for bravery in the field, but also for his singing ability. And there were quite a lot of photographs of him dressed up in a fine dress suit, or I'm afraid as a black and white minstrel, which he did in various clubs around Lancashire. He was known as the Lancashire Nightingale. So my grandfather was a presence around, even though I never actually met him. Yes, my grandfather enlisted. He volunteered to enlist in 1916, and he went into action in 1917 at a hill, the Hill of Loos, which I understand was a terrible massacre, really, of people. I understand there are about 20,000 unnamed soldiers who were buried there with just a memorial. So my grandfather was on the Hill of Loos on July 24th, I think it was, in 1917. And he was manning a gun, I think it was a howitzer gun, and he stuck to his gun for 8 hours, I believe all night, to try to repulse a German attack. Now, he wasn't actually, as far as I can make out, wounded then. He was wounded, ironically, a month later in August, and that's when he was shipped back to England with a terrible injury to his left leg. And he then was in convalescence for quite a while, and then he was given a pension of 22 shillings a week, and then went back to his former job, which was a waterman on the moors of Darwen. But there would not have been much money in the family, I suspect, when he was invalided out of the army. My grandfather received the military medal, and he would have received the military cross had he been an officer, but he was a bombardier, a private soldier, and so he only got the lower order of the medal. I think from what my father said, he felt a little bit offended by that. My grandfather was presented with his military medal in Darwen Town Hall when he came back from his injuries, and he was presented with the medal by the Mayor of Darwen, and the Mayor was very complimentary about him, and my grandfather was very stoic about the medal and made some comments about not being in favour of strikes. I think he said something like, "There are no strikes out there, my friends," because he felt that people shouldn't be striking at a time when the country was under such strain and stress. The psychological impact, as I understand it from my father, was quite dramatic. My father said that he went around in his nightmares shooting Germans and shouting out in his sleep until he died. And there was also quite sad effects because the family had lost a lot of the possible income. My grandfather always said to his children, there were 3 of them, "You will never go into the mills. I will not let you go into the mills." And of course, they had to. They all went into the mills at the age of 14 because there was not enough money to pay for their education. So although my father was apparently a very clever child, he never went on to secondary education. So there were all kinds of aftermaths of it, which were, I think, very sad.